Can America compete with China's production? I'm going to have to go ahead and say it can. However, the way that their industries are structured, they have very low labor costs, and they're taking undercut for that reason. And you'll see a lot of American firms are outsourcing and offshoring to Chinese markets to cut down on costs. So, is it possible? Yes. Will they compete and be successful? I don't think so.
The question really should be, are the Chinese going to allow us to compete with them?
If we want to get paid 20 cents a day.
I'm leaning towards, I want to say yes, but I'm leaning towards no for America because everything is a lot cheaper to do over in China. They have more people, and they have the technology available to them, which we didn't have before when we were a growing economy. So that's why I think China kind of has the upper hand.
Yes, because it's the greatest country.
Yes and no. They are able to compete with the U.S. I think it's interesting to take apart what compete means.
We have a trade deficit with the Chinese that is lopsided, extremely lopsided, and the Chinese hold over $1 trillion of our debt, basically because they're developing their own markets internally, and right now they can't. Their internal markets can't take all their production. What happens to us when China can in fact take all their production? Will they still need us? Will they still buy our debt? Will they allow our products into their market?
On price, China's shown that it's very competitive.
Yeah, they can compete. They have 1 billion more people than us, but I think the quality of product here is a lot better than what they're making. I mean, we obviously make like airplanes and intricate stuff like that.
I think America's productivity can improve and will be better than China.
No, because China has 1 billion people.
Better quality, better workforce.
That's without denial that China is a major competitor in manufacturing products. But they owe that to their 1.3 billion people who don't earn much money and can provide really cheap labor.
Yuan is the name of their currency, is tied to the U.S. dollar artificially. We're going to continue to run trade deficits. Once that's allowed to float, we may be able to get some of our products into China, but right now, I don't see us being able to compete, given everything that's going on with them in the short term. And my biggest fear is that they suddenly decide they don't want to finance our debt anymore, and that could in fact cause the collapse of our economy. That's my biggest fear, not whether we can outproduce them.
But I think once you get past price, I don't think they're competitive with American quality. Whether that's materials or workmanship, I think there's some question marks, particularly in the kind of materials that are used. I think in terms of safety, I think American consumers are really relating to the sourcing now of the goods that they consume. And I think they're more and more concerned about everything from lead paint and toys to melamine in chocolate and baby formula and things like that that are making people more concerned that the Chinese are cutting corners.
Yes, I think we can compete with China on products. I think the quality of products we have here is definitely better. The only challenge would be competing on price. The prices in China are much more affordable, so it would be hard to compete that way.
Purely on population size and low price labor, they look competitive, but in terms of the regulatory system in which that operates, that manufacturing sector operates, they're not competitive with us. We have a much better system and a much stronger market-based economy that corrects for some of those mistakes than the Chinese do. And
really wants to compete, they're going to have to increase education to make sure that their products are equal to America's in terms of like technological backing and the fact.
The wave, if you could imagine one, is going to start pulling things back. To some extent, people still respond to the low price, the Walmart price, as we say. So we won't completely get all this altruism to take over, but when people start thinking about their babies eating or playing with something that's unsafe to them, it raises a lot of alarm bells. And I think that's what you're going to see is, as at the very least, changing the price part of what's competitive about the Chinese. They're going to have to address it or not be as competitive after all.